Travelzoo is an interesting small cap company that could surprise in 2025. In 2024, it was a better stock with about 100% return in just 1 year. And for 2025, Travelzoo also seems promising due to exponential growth. It's a small company, an internet company, so a lot can go wrong. But first, let's look at some characteristics that might make it interesting for further research. First of all, we have the Morningstar rating, and I think they want to provide an update. Their fair value estimate right now is $50, while the current price is $21. Looking at some analyst ratings, they indicate that it's a buy with a price target of around $25. But what's more interesting is to look at the fundamental development. The history of Travelzoo is actually quite old, as we can see. What we see here is that the price is coordinated with adjusted appointment earnings. Recently, there has been a huge price spike, and the question is, of course, why? Let's look at a time difference. 7 years and we'll see a better picture. It seems that the current price, although it has risen to a PE ratio of around 20, still well below its potential. If we look at, for example, the forecasting, we see that analysts, specifically 5 for 2025 and 2 for 2026, have provided a forecast for the EPS, or earnings per share. Now let's assume that this is true. At EPS growth of 20% and 65%, in principle aim for a PE of 30, keep the PE to be 30 because that would be a fair valuation for a fast growing company, but that might be a bit too risky, so let's just stick with a PE to hold at 15. So if the PE is 15 by the end of 2026 and Travelzoo achieves this quite high profit growth, then it could realize an average return of 15% per year, but with an emphasis on could. A lot can definitely go wrong. And it's very interesting, of course, to see what the current price of the company is, where they are making some changes here and there. Also, look at the management. That's very important. And for the short term, Travelzoo could be interesting, but for the long term, I don't know. We haven't done enough research on that, so you have to be honest about it. Here we show a number of characteristics regarding the loan, including the valuation grade, which at the moment doesn't seem very positive. But this is in comparison to the sector median. If we just look at the numbers purely for the company itself, it's not too bad. It's not a superior company, so indeed the current PE ratio of around 20 is on the higher side. However, adjusted for the EPS growth over the next 5 years, we get a luck ratio of 0.6. That's definitely on the lower side. The price to cash flow is indeed on the higher side for such a small company that doesn't even have a competitive advantage. In fact, it's a commodity really, because there's a lot of competition online within the travel sector. So be careful with your money, of course. Market cap is only 250 million. The positive thing is that there are no debts, or at least very little debt. Well, a cash position that is larger than the total debts. So that's definitely a positive in terms of liquidity. Growth figures will look really good. The EBITDA growth for next year is estimated at 27%. EPS growth is even higher than that. A fast graph we saw 22%. Here it's 33%. The profitability is actually surprisingly good for this small internet company. Yes, it does have a lot of competition. Moreover, my own portfolio, I have a booking, and I think it's one of the better travel agencies, or travel companies, I should say. So I stick with high quality, but Travelzoo might surprise in the short term. TZOO gives it a strong buy signal. Their price target for the short term is $24 compared to the $21 we see here. Finally, a very small piece regarding the price and the trends. The current all-time high hasn't been reached yet, but there was a strong resistance level around the price of 20, as we can see here. We can draw a line, of course, then you'll see the same thing. And if you zoom in a bit, you'll see that it has finally broken through that level. So it could be that the stock rises quite a bit further, for example up to 30, or indeed to the 25 that the analysts indicate. Now, that was about Travelzoo. There are of course many more interesting small cap stocks, which is why you should keep subscribing to our channel. We share a lot of free analyses with databases and tools that are paid, which you can also access yourself, but altogether it still costs a lot of money, more than 7,000 euros. So we like to share that through these videos. And if you want access to our database that we use and trust, check the links in the description, because there you'll find discount deals, discount links that we've arranged and can offer to our participants and viewers.